My dear friends, before we begin, I want to say something from the heart and I want you to hear me clearly. What you're about to listen to may be uncomfortable, and for some, it may even feel too close to home. This is not a sweet, polished story meant to make you feel good for a moment. This is a reality check, one that could change how you live the rest of your life. That's why I urge you to subscribe to this channel right now and watch this video all the way to the very end. Why? Because in today's world, when we speak the raw truth, the kind that challenges people's comfort zones, there's always a chance it won't stay online for long. I don't want you to miss it, because the lessons here could save you from years of hardship, loneliness, and regret in your later years. So take a deep breath. Sit somewhere quiet. Let's have a real conversation about something that most people don't want to think about until it's too late. What it really means to grow old without a financial safety net, and why a pension can be the line between dignity and despair. I've spent decades working with older adults, listening to their stories, studying the patterns, and seeing up close the consequences of decisions made in youth that echo painfully in old age. And I have to tell you, there's a hard truth that cuts across all cultures, all income levels, and all walks of life. When you no longer have the strength to work, and you have no pension, no steady income, and no savings, your life will change in ways you cannot fully imagine right now. For some, old age without a pension means working far past the point where your body can keep up. For others, it means depending on children or relatives and discovering that dependence can come at the cost of your pride, your voice, and even your emotional well-being. And for many, it's the result of decisions made decades earlier, pulling out retirement contributions, skipping savings, or thinking I'll figure it out later. Still working at 75. Let me share the story of Mrs. Carey, a 75-year-old woman from a small town. Her back is curved, her hands tremble, and her steps are slow. Yet every morning, long before the sun rises around 4 a.m., she forces herself out of bed, prepares a few baskets of fresh vegetables, and sets off to sell them in the market. In the cold, in the heat, in the rain, she's there. Why? Because she has no pension, no savings. Her 3 children, 2 daughters and a son, each have their own struggles and can't help her financially. Years ago, she and her husband worked the fields, caught crabs in the river, and sold whatever they could to raise their children. But there was never extra money to save. Now, in what should have been her time to rest, she's still out there, just trying to earn enough for food and rent. She told me once, "I can't stop working, because if I do, I'll have nothing. And I don't want to be a burden on my kids." Her story is not rare. In fact, it's far more common than most people realize. The construction worker who never stopped. Then there's Mr. Hughes, now 68, who left school after 6th grade because his family couldn't afford to keep him in class. As a young man, he worked as a construction laborer, often far from home. For over 20 years, he carried bricks, mixed cement, and worked under the scorching summer sun and in the freezing winter wind. His pay wasn't much, a few dollars a day in the early years, eventually a few $100s as wages rose. But he never had retirement benefits, and he never set aside money for the future. He thought, "I'll work as long as I can, and the kids will help me later." Now, his body aches constantly, his knees are worn from decades of climbing scaffolding, and yet he still works part-time because there's no monthly check coming in. No pension means no guaranteed income. And that means he can't stop, depending on children and the pain no one talks about. Some older adults are fortunate enough to have children who are financially stable and willing to support them fully. But many are not. I remember sitting in a clinic one afternoon, watching an older woman, let's call her Mrs. Thomas, walk in with her daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law was clearly annoyed, speaking sharply to the doctor. "Please check her quickly, she complains about something new every week. I have to get back to work." The older woman's eyes lowered. She spoke softly about her back pain, her headaches, but quickly stopped when her daughter-in-law interrupted again. Later, in a quiet moment, she admitted, "I don't argue. I live with them. I have no income, no pension. I don't want to cause trouble, so I keep quiet." That, my friends, is the silent pain of financial dependence in old age. You may be provided a bed and meals, but you lose something far more precious: your independence, your voice, and sometimes, your dignity. The risk of cashing out retirement early. Here's something many younger people don't realize. In our country, the moment you pull out your retirement savings or Social Security lump sum early, you're making a decision that could haunt you decades later. I've met many who said, "I needed the money for an emergency, or I thought I could invest it and make more." And yes, for a very small number of people, that worked out. But for most, the money was spent quickly, and years later, they had nothing left: no pension, no investment, no steady income. According to studies, more than 70% of older adults without pensions end up working well past retirement age, often in physically demanding or low-paying jobs. Many also face higher risks of illness because they can't afford proper healthcare. A monthly pension, even a modest one, can be the difference between eating 3 healthy meals a day or skipping dinner to stretch your budget. The path forward starting now. If you're younger than 60, please understand, time is your greatest asset. The earlier you begin saving, investing, or contributing to retirement accounts, the less you'll have to struggle later. If you're already past 60, it's not too late to make changes. Consider part-time work that allows you to save, reduce expenses, or even contribute to a voluntary pension plan. Explore senior-friendly investment options. Look into private retirement insurance. Every bit of preparation you do now will protect your independence later. Most importantly, see retirement planning not as an optional luxury, but as a responsibility to yourself and to your children. Because when you're financially independent in old age, you give your family the gift of freedom from worry and resentment. My friends, old age will come for all of us. And when it does, it will reveal whether we prepared wisely, or whether we hoped for the best and left our future to chance. Health will fade. Our children will grow and build their own lives. The only thing we can fully control is our financial stability. And that is built, brick by brick, with every decision we make today. If you take away one thing from this message, let it be this. Start preparing now, no matter your age, so that you can live with dignity, independence, and peace when the working years are behind you. If you found this conversation valuable, please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future videos. Share this message with your friends and family. You never know whose life it might change. And I would truly love to hear from you. What is one step you're taking today to prepare for your later years? Leave your answer in the comments. And finally, be sure to watch our other videos for more powerful lessons about living well at every stage of life. Thank you for spending this time with us. Until next time, take care of your health, your heart, and your future.